Can you see the screen? Can you see my screen? No doubt, playtime is over. And of course, that was myself, Brother Panic, and the guy Stacy from out of Detroit doing the work on that one. And of course, we get all right, we're gonna get started in a moment here. We let the room fill up. Wings, Golden Kings. All right, we getting ready for part 2. This time it's the practical exercises. For those that's listening, we also doing it from our radio show, First World Radio. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. If y'all know where that came from, then y'all need to be listening for real. To the First World of Radio. We're in the building. Co-host, Brother Fahim, you here? Yeah, I tell you what, we're going to get started tonight. This is basically sexual energy and the quest for the Holy Spirit, practical exercises for tonight. And we will begin deeper science. For those that got a chance to watch us yesterday, then y'all know that we went in and we're going to continue going in even deeper today. All right, so we know that we have 7 major endocrine glands in our system. We have the pineal gland, pituitary glands, the thyroid glands, the parathyroid glands, the adrenal glands, the spleen, the pancreas, as well as the ovaries and the uterus within the woman, the testes, and the prostate within the man. All right, so these are the 7 major endocrine glands in our body. This means that these are ductless glands, but they produce hormones within these glands. So it gives us hormonal balance. And also when there's a depletion of iodine, because iodine goes throughout all of the endocrine glands, that means that the possibility of one of these glands being deficient start to act up because of a deficiency in iodine particularly. All right, so this is why iodine is so important. So this is why when you look at the salt bottle, it says on there, does not contain the necessary nutrient iodine, but it's necessary, but yet the damn salt don't have it. All right, so there's some trickery going on, and so we're going to get into how to get and circumvent and find the loopholes in this system as far as health is concerned, dealing sexually. All right, so let's get into it. The pineal gland, being the highest gland, acts as a step-down transformer of electromagnetic energy. All right, so that means the energy comes from on high, the sun, the cosmic energies of stellar forces or rays, and they come down into the hair follicles, which are curled within melanated beings into a shape of a 9 or 8, all right, 7, down into mankind with 6, all right? So this energy comes down and your hair follicles act as a transformer of this electromagnetic energy into the pineal down into the pituitary gland down into the thyroid gland, parathyroid glands down into the adrenal glands, spleen, pancreas, down into the uterus and ovaries within the man, the testes and prostate, right? But they all have these colors that looks like rainbows, all right, that are emitted from them, all right? So at the pineal gland, it has the fastest electromagnetic energy pulse of the spectrum, which is the violet color. The pituitary gland, the indigo color. The thyroid gland, the color sky blue, all right? The adrenal glands, pancreas and spleen, which is all sits in this middle area of the torso, is the color yellow, all right? For it symbolizes the solar plexus. Down to the navel is the color orange, all right? Of course, the heart is green. We get back to that one, which is the thymus gland. And then on down to the ovaries and the testes within the man or woman, which is also the uterus and the prostate gland, is the color red. All right. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. These are the 7 colors. All right. The same colors of Roy G. Biv is the same colors in which that you have within these particular endocrine glands. All right. So once again, we're going to go over the endocrine glands again. The pineal gland, pituitary gland, thyroid, parathyroid glands, the thymus gland, which sits actually above the heart, the adrenal glands, Also the spleen and pancreas, all of that sits right there in the solar plex area, down into the navel, which correlates to the sacrum bone in the back, which is right above the crack of the behind, where the kundalini is the abode, you know, and then down into the ovaries and testes. So there's 7 chakras, endocrine glands, which are called the 7 African powers, right? This is symbolic to Obatala, Emiya, Oya, Oshun, Ogun, Shango, and Ishu-Elegba. These 7 African powers correlates to the 7 endocrine glands, also correlates to the 7 eyes of Allah, also correlates to the 7 thunders of God, also correlates to the 7 stars of man, also correlates to this 7 eyes, all right, of God, which is also mentioned in the book of Revelation, as well as also it correlates to the 7 Elohims, all right, the 7 sons of Adalabroth. All of this is the same thing, all right? You're talking about the spectrum, colors, the chakras, all right? So we know that the pineal gland symbolizes the crown chakra, which is violet, but the sound for that is the I tone. The I sound is the note, is B, all right? So actually the musical note is B, but the sound is I. All right? Then you have the pituitary gland, often called the third eye, the indigo color, and it's the A sound or the A note, and the sound is the E. E. Then you have the throat, all right, which is the thyroid, parathyroid glands, and that is blue, all right, which is the G musical note, and the sound is the A sound. A. All right, and you have the heart, right? The thymus gland, which is colored green, is the F musical note, but it's AH. Then you have the solar plexus, which is color yellow. All right, it's the E note, and it's the ha sound. All right, the ka sound is for the adrenal glands and kidneys. And to relieve anger from the liver is shh. All right. For the navel, sacral is the color orange, which is the D note. All right, which is the O. All right. Then you have the root or base chakra, all right, the genitalia, which is red, all right, and that's the C, and that's the U sound. On a daily basis, at least twice a day, you would do each one of these 7 times, all right? So if you started at the crown chakra, you would say the I tone 7 times. I. And etc. 7 times each one, twice a day, all right? That would keep you in harmonial balance. Now, there's another one which comes from Tibet, which is a very powerful one. This is similar to the one that you might have seen, the technique that you might have seen if you was paying attention very hard at Green Mile, the movie, all right, with John Coffey, who's played by Michael Eric Duncan, all right? On there, he was a shaman, and he took the dis-ease of the individual in which that he touched as far as producing a healing effect. But in order to bring that, to cast that energy off of him, he had to get somewhere quiet where he was able to breathe those toxins and poisons from out of his system, because he took it on. So this is a demonstration of that. All right. So this should be done at sunrise when possible, when the sun is at level. In other words, around right around horizon, when the sun comes up around the horizon. So around 6:30 to 7:30, it's a good time for also sun gazing. This can also be done at the same time. All right. Any higher, the sun would be too powerful. All right. Especially if you have light eyes. All right. So that means you have black, dark brown eyes, you straight. But you have, hazel, green, gray, blue, then, you might not need to do it for a long period of time. The time for lighter eyes are lessened as far as being able to sun gaze. But you would sit in a cross leg with your hands on your knees or either in a chair. You lean your head back, inhale through your nose and envision the sun's energy entering your body, circulating down the front of the spine and wrap it around the front of the body via the tip of the spine. Then you will exhale and envision the energy moving up the front of the body and then spewing out the mouth in the form of filthy black smoke is what you would imagine. So you will be releasing all the toxins and poisons, heavy metals, negative debris that you have built up within your auric field and etc. You will be spewing all of this out of yourself. All right, and you would visualize it as a filthy black smoke. Right, on Green Mile, they showed that it was filthy black smoke, but it was also in the form of gnats or flies. All right, but you will repeat this 12 to 24 times in that one setting. And during the time of sunset, this same ritual, which would be around right now. You know what I'm saying? So around 7:30 to 8:30, all right, as the sun goes down. All right, so in order to activate certain areas in your body, because we talked about the meridians, and you have 6 meridians on your left side, 6 meridians on your right side. All right, so we're dealing with, let's say, the heart meridian. Well, this bow pose, which is a yoga technique or posture, you can do this bow pose, and this activates the heart meridian, right? And also the precardium, right? Which is connected also via the heart, right? Now, this is a breath technique that you can actually do, right? This benefits the heart. You would close your right nostril, take a deep breath through your left nostril, and then close both nostrils and hold your breath as long as possible. Then you would let the breath out through one half of the right nostril slowly. This is highly concentrated, therefore this is only done once to 3 times only. All right. So this is one of the techniques in which that helps activate the heart, alleviating mucus in the heart, metal buildup, you know what I'm saying, such as calcium, aluminum, mercury, etc., etc. Right? Now, when you do this shoulder stand yogi position, what this does is help activate the thyroid gland. There's also a breath method that you can utilize. Right? This benefits the thyroid gland and parathyroid glands. Right? It normalizes the weight through correctly balanced metabolism. It produces what is called the hormone thyroxine, right? Thyroxine, which is very important for burning up toxins, breaking down and building up tissue. It also controls calcium and sex functions, all right? So this benefits the thyroid gland and parathyroid glands. So that's why you would do this shoulder stand if you practice yoga, all right? However, you might want to do the yoga. So you can do the breathing exercise. So you would sit in your chair with your spine straight, use the thumb of your right hand, close the right side of the nose, take a deep breath in through the left nostril, close both nostrils now for a few seconds, and then open the right nostril halfway and let the breath out slowly. Now reverse the order. Close the left side of the nose, take a deep breath through the right nostril, and close both for a few seconds, then open half the left nostril and let the breath out slowly. Do this alternatively for 10 to 15 minutes. So you'll alternate back and forth for 10 to 15 minutes between the left and the right nostril, activating the Ida and the Pingala, and also both hemispheres of the brain, the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. This is how you synergize the left and right hemisphere of the brain, right? So here you have the liver meridian, all right, which comes up from the big toe along the ankle, the back of the knee on up towards the buttocks area into the torso. Now we know that what benefits the liver and the spleen. We know that the liver has over 500 functions in your body. So you take the R off of liver and what do you have? The word live. All right. So the liver is the detoxifier in the body. So the correct posture is to always sit up straight with no curvature in your spine. You're going to take a deep breath, full breath in through your nostrils. Hold your breath, drop your head back gently, then bring your head forward, exhaling the breath through the nostrils in a strong manner. All right. And you're going to do this 10 to 15 times. Right. So that is what benefits and relieve the anger from the liver, because anger is stored in the liver. All right. As we broke down yesterday. All right. Anger is stored in the liver. All right. For the spleen, we have the inside of the big toe on up the inside of the leg, on up into the groin area, into the abdominal area, on up into the chest, down towards near the underarm. That's the spleen meridian. All right. And so that helps with the spleen meridian. Right. Now you have the lungs. All right. You do these two yoga positions here, which is called the fish pose and the cobra pose within yoga. This activates the lungs. All right, the lungs, remember, is the storage place of depression, frustration. All right, so what benefits the lungs? This get rid of all the stale air. You'll close your right nostril with the right thumb. Take a full breath in through the left nostril. Close both nostrils, expel and breath out through the mouth with a ha sound. Ha sound. Alternate the same procedure. First one side and then the other 10 to 15 times. Okay. And that is how you get rid of stale air from, if you have bronchitis, asthma, emphysema. You get rid of the poisons and toxins in the stale air in which it has become stored within the lungs and the body. Right? Remember, the lungs, according to what we talked about yesterday, the lungs is the first place, all right, which is between the hours of 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. when the circulatory system for the blood and for the energy of chi begins. It begins in the lungs, right? So the ha sound, right? Remember, we the heart, the thymus gland, as well as also the lungs. All right. So you can do you can go from the into that portion. It doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you're doing the sound. You get rid of the stale air, all right, and the toxins and poison in the body. All right, you have what is called the Sanjel, which is the triple warmer or triple burner. This meridian comes up from the ring finger on up the arm, bicep, on up into the shoulder, over the neck, in over the ear, into near the between the eye and the eyebrow. All right. You have the stomach meridian. All right, that comes from the second toe on up the thigh, abdomen, on up into the neck, the eye, and on up into the head. You have the small intestines, which comes from the forefinger on up the arm into the upper shoulder area, the neck, face, towards the ear. You have the large intestines, all right, from the pointer finger on up the arm, bicep, into the area near the nose. All right. So the exercise for strengthening the Manipura is the breath of fire. So what stimulates those areas that we just went over, the stomach, the small intestine, large intestines? This is a rapid diaphragmatic breathing designed to cleanse toxins from the body, and it stimulates the Kundalini. All right, so you would sit in the upright position with your back straight and legs relaxed. Using the muscles of your abdomen, you would snap in your diaphragm, all right, and causing a quick exhale to escape through your nose, right? You would keep your mouth closed. By relaxing the abdomen, air will naturally enter your nose and chest, causing an inhale. This is the process. When this process is comfortable, repeat quickly, causing several quick essential exhales. Do this in a set of 50 with a long breath or long deep breath at the end of each set. 3 sets of 50 are usually a good place to start. All right. After a while, you get to pace yourself according to what feels right. So what they're talking about is just breathing through your nose. All right. And you snapping your abdomen, your abdominal. All right. And you're doing it like that up to 50 times. All right. And that will help to get rid of the toxins in the small and large and stomach area. That will also help from not having ulcers, from not being constipated and have diarrhea, right? From having Crohn's disease, right? Irritable bowel syndrome, colon issues. None of that will exist, all right? This is the reason why you practice these exercises that we're talking about. And yes, this has to do with sex, because sex, ultimate goal is actually to make your body light up like a Christmas tree, right? You have the gallbladder, the urinary bladder, all right? Those are also worked on by that same breath technique, all right? Same. All right, so women and men, sexual vitality. Women can use the herbs maca root, tribulus, horny goatweed, damiana, dang quai, mucuna, all right? Also red raspberry, red clover. Men can use maca root, horny goatweed, damiana, saw pimento, pygium, sarsaparilla, all right? All right. And also another one would be, well, for the women would be wild yam, also blue and black cohosh, especially during pregnancy. Red raspberry will also be good to take during the whole pregnancy. All right. Now, you have the anatomy of the female organs, right? And we're going to go over some of the female information as we already been doing. We're going to get into the men in a second. Right, but below, we have a diaphragm of the female reproductive organs. All right. This is mandatory for men and women to know. All right. So you have the structure, ovaries, which is the same as the testicles, which is the seed or the origin of creation, the ability to acknowledge that you create. All right. You have the vas deferens for the men and the fallopian tubes for the women. All right, they are the same. There's different names. That's what they're doing, giving the organs different names. Same function. The conscious connection between you and your potentiality or potentially can create and how you nurture that which you desire. Right? You have the uterus and the prostate. Is the known fact that the prostate is merely a shrunken uterus, right? Is the actual house that contains the seed thought that you desire to bear into your life. These organs represents how you choose to nurture your desires, all right? The clitoris of the vagina and the penis, all right? Same organ, all right? The gateway to receive or release your desires. You have the chest and the breast, which represents your capacity to nurture the self, right? So for the uterus is a muscular organ located in the center of the pelvis within the female body. And it's quite remarkable organ because it says that the uterus can expand to 200 times its size to accommodate the growth of a single or multiple pregnancies. It has the capacity to contract continuously for hours to evacuate its contents, which may weigh up to 20 pounds. All right, the uterus is a physical representation of the conscious mind. All right, so women who's having hysterectomies or partial hysterectomies, you have to check your mind because the uterus is the physical representation of the conscious mind. They function in the same manner. All right. Right? The uterus will attempt to nurture anything in which that is stored within it. All right. This is why it says for women to be practical and protective about who they allow to enter into their body, because they can keep the seed of that man up to 7 years. Right, nurturing it. All right. And scientists now have stated that that various semens within the woman, you know what I'm saying, can be from different men in which that goes into the production of a child. Okay. This is just some of the facts that they've been talking about. Y'all can look it up. All right. So the uterus is suspended within the pelvis by a group of ligaments, strings, which aids in keeping all the digestive organs in their proper places. All right, F, the uterus, along with the ovaries and kidneys, contains and stores all of the sexual energy, right? So the kidneys, the ovaries, and the uterus, all right, stores all of the sexual energy. The ovaries, it is said to be the anatomy is destiny, right? Women are born to be mothers. A baby girl's ovaries are immature, small, and smooth, but they contain the power necessary to create the 200 to 500 eggs she will produce in her reproductive years, and a reserve of potentially 450,000 eggs. Some say that the little baby girl is actually born with up to 1 million eggs. 1 million. Right? Many changes can occur in the menstrual cycle of a woman by practicing ovarian breathing. Right? So we're going to get into the science of ovarian breathing. This is a technique that preserves the life of the ovaries and prevent the swallowing of the sexual energies. Women should only ovulate and menstruate the numbers of times necessary to create the number of children they desire. If a woman is only interested in having 4 children, then only 8 to 10 menstrual periods should occur within her life. This also means that she should only ovulate 8 to 10 times within her life. Right? So learning and practicing the ovarian breathing exercise will actually make this a reality for you. All right. So we're going to get into that. Right. But before we do, look at the reflexology zones of the female sexual organ. Right. You see the ovaries here at the top, the uterus. This is what is actually the Ankh symbol comes from. It's from this illustration of life here. As life is in the womb, which symbolizes at the top loop, which is a shin. Life, all right, spirit is produced within the shin, which is symbolic to the uterus itself. All right, then down from the cervix bone area, you have the heart and lungs, right, in the vaginal canal, all right, or the vagina, all right. Down from there, you have the spleen and the pancreas. Down from there, you have the liver, and down from there towards the entrance of the vaginal canal, you have the kidneys. right? Now, the clitoris or clitoris symbolizes the head of the clitoris, which looks just like the head of a penis, all right? It is both the pineal gland and pituitary gland, all right? Behind there is the adrenal and the thymus gland. And the G-spot area, all right, also correlates to various organs, all right? Now, that area is right behind the inner lips, all right? And the G-spot is actually what's called the urethra sponge of the clitoris. All of that is connected, right? The uterus, the G-spot, all that's connected. And normally within women is about 1.5 to 3 inches inside of the vaginal canal, all right? And this is how a woman is able to do what is called vaginal orgasms, as well as also the skeeting orgasm, which some think is P, but we'll get to that in a second. A recent brain imaging studies by Swedish researchers showed that the relaxation is the most important factor in beginning or bringing a woman to orgasm. The study shows that it takes 15 to 40 minutes for the average woman to reach orgasm. So we know that some women don't orgasm, all right? Some have never orgasmed. And that's because the man has not taken his time to arouse the woman to the proper levels, all right? So we understand that if they talk about relaxation, then it must deal with the breath, right? Must deal with the breath. You have to deal with it. So here we are, we have a breath technique for relaxation or relaxation breath or relaxing breath is 4, 7, 8. So you would exhale completely through your mouth, making a whoosh noise. Then you will close your mouth and inhale slowly through your nose to a mental count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 7. Exhale completely through your mouth, making a noise or sound for a count of 8. This is one breath. Inhale again and repeat the cycle 3 more times for a total of 4 breaths. Of course, you can do this as long as necessary during the foreplay act or even during the sexual beginning stage of the sexual act in order to get relaxed, all right? All right, the woman in particular, all right? So she can actually enjoy and come to the level of an orgasm, because there's actually 9 levels, all right, which most men don't know. But there's basically 2 types of female cum, right, that can be excreted during sexual arousal, right? They're clinically termed as the urethra and vaginal ejaculation fluids, all right? The one most commonly seen in our culture is the vaginal ejaculation, which lubricates the vaginal walls and oozes out during sexual arousal. You probably have noticed it's a milky color. It ranges in its thickness and odor based on the woman's diet, overall health, and the phase she is experiencing within her menstrual cycle. The Bartholin glands, all right, which are 2 glands located slightly posterior into the left and right of the opening of the vagina. They secrete minute droplets of mucus, which is clear to milky white to lubricate the vagina, all right? And they are basically the homologous to the bulbar urethra glands in males, all right? So this is similar to the same gland within the males. The fluid may slightly moisten the labial and opening of the vagina. Now, Masters and Johnson also demonstrated this vaginal lubrication comes from deeper within the vagina. All right. Now, if you want to learn more, you can get the phenomenal book, Secret of Regeneration by Hilton Otima. All right. He talks about this. All right. And he talks about the Bartholin glands, in which are sacs that sits above near the ovaries, in which that excretes this milky substance, which looks similar to the ejaculation of the semen, all right, within the male. Except allegedly, there's very few to no sperm, all right? But we do know that at one time, the woman had that capability as she was more androgynous, all right? And we know that remnants of that nowadays is basically what we refer to as a word. Thank you, Brother Bob. Once again, word, that's what I'm talking about. Said, this is how the spirit works. I'm reading this book right now. And the title of the chapter I'm on is called The Cosmic G-Spot Stimulator. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's the ancestors, Brother Bob. That's what I'm talking about. That's how we do. That's how we do. Oh yeah, Anissa, thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Much respect. Much respect. All right, so we know the clitoris, the labia minora, the urethra, the skinny glands, the vagina, and the Bartholian glands. All right, these are where these are located at. All right, in the vagina. All right, near the vagina, on the outside of the vagina. This is where they're located at. All right, so men need to know this. Right, so the second ejaculation is the urethral, also called the clitoris ejaculation. All right, G-spot, because all of that is connected. All right, and this is what we refer to when we describe the female ejaculation, and this is the least common one. This is the watery ejaculation that sprays and gushes out. Right, this is what the yin yang twins was talking about. Skeet, skeet, skeet. All right, this is what they're talking about, and it gushes out, and this is the one that is generally less known about. Again, it is not because only a few special women are capable, but rather due to lack of understanding of women's sexual health issues in this culture. It is unknown. So what we find out is that what is in this fluid, right? Well, let me get the myth, the biggest myth out the way. It's not urine, at least not totally. It's not pee, at least not totally. Unlike urine, it comes from the the urethral skinny glands, as I showed you earlier, which is also known as the lesser vestibular glands, or the periurethral glands, skinny glands, female prostate. And they're located at the anterior walls of the vagina, around the lower end of the urethra. All right, now this is what we showed you. Here it is. Look up here at the skinny glands. You can see where it's located at. And it's near the urethra. All right, the urethra. All right, so near the urethra, that's where it's located at. All right, so the skinny glands, right there, and it is made up of the G-spot during the sexual arousal. All right, moreover, it is nearly impossible to urinate while ejaculating because the muscle contractions of the orgasm closes off the bladder and prevents the passage of urine. So this is how we know that it's not urine. All right, even though it might smell like urine, the reason why, because scientists found that the fluid contains levels of glucose, which is sugar, and enzymes, which is prostatic, all right, prostatic acid, phosphatase, all right, phosphocytate, all right, which is characteristic of a major component in semen, prostate fluid, but without sperm. All right. There are also two other substances that contains in the fluid, right? Found in urine, which is urea and creatinine. All right. These are the unique substance, and unlike the heavy, thicker fluid that is normally within the vagina, all right, or that we would see typically when a woman is wet or have a vaginal orgasm, this is the kind in which that, as we know, skeet, 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 all right? And what we do know is that most women can gush up to a 1.5 cups to 2 cups of this fluid while ejaculating, all right? This is up to 1.5 to 2 cups, all right, when ejaculating. So however, this can be affected by how hydrated the woman is, how much she pushes while ejaculating, and other factors. One of the main reasons that women do not know that they can do this is because women will often feel like they need to urinate when they are ready or to expel the ejaculation. And because they think their urine will come out, which it will not, they hold back. You see the G-spot, skinny glands fill up and the female ejaculate fluid, and this put pressure on the urethra, the P tube, thus making it feel like she has to urinate, which in actuality, she could ejaculate if she simply push instead of holding back. So the woman actually stops her own orgasm. All right, at least the skeet one, she stops that. About a half to an inch to 3 inches inside of the vaginal canal at the top is the G-spot. Stimulating this area usually requires more time and deeper stimulation than most people think. You can try using your finger in a come hither motion to stimulate the front walls of the vagina where the G-spot lives. And when women engage their PC muscles, which is also called the mula banana, the tissues around the G-spot swells, hence massaging the G-spot, causing the urethral sponge to become engulfed or engorged with fluid, which is then expelled during orgasm, climax, out of the urethra. All right, so, and how they got the name G-spot was because it was coined by Adigo in 1981 after the German gynecologist Ernest Grafenberg. So they just found out about the damn G-spot in 1981, and that is bean shaped. Well, we're gonna make the G for the goddess instead of a German gynecologist, Ernest Grafenberg. All right, it's no longer Grafenberg spot, it is now the goddess spot, okay? And it's bean shaped, just like the pineal gland, all right, is about the size of a pea. So many women report that it is an erogenous zone, and the G-spot is the extension of the clitoris or clitoris, and that is the cause of the vaginal orgasms. All right, that is it. All right, so one thing many women love doing manual stimulation and a slow buildup. And how can you do it? You can lie next to her. You can lightly brace the heels on her on one hand just below her clitoris. Now run your ring finger, middle finger along the length of her outer lips. Raise the skin at first. Adding pressure as the tension builds. Cut the area around her clitoris with the palm to add to indirect stimulation. And most women are too sensitive to receive direct contact early on anyway. So as she becomes aroused, brace the hands on her mound, her pubic mound, the fleshly area that covers her pubic bones. In other words, where the hair grows. All right, and basically tease the clitoris with the middles, all right, and tips of the fingers as you move your entire hand. All right. If you rub the clitoris for a long time during thrusting, for example, it can become too sore and desensitized to respond to manual or oral stimulation later. So satisfy her before intercourse. All right. Foreplay is crucial. But even before foreplay, we talked about Reiki. All right. Massaging. All right. We talked about pranic healing. All right. All of these can be added into the scenario. And it's extremely important to make sure that your fingers are wet before touching her clitoris. Don't rub her clitoris when it's dry. You can either suck on your finger, middle, ring, use lubrication, coconut, olive oil, great natural lubricants. Or you can push your fingers in between her lips after she's turned on. If you suck on your fingers, let her watch you do it. It might turn her on, you know what I'm saying, even more. Do it while you kissing her, then the journey to the fingers, back down her body, or let her suck on your fingers. All right, however you do it, get it done. All right, so you can ease into the oral sex. Don't just attack, right? First kiss her inner thighs and her inner and outer lips. Then work your way inside using firm, broad strokes with your tongue, all right? Watch her hips for the clues to the rhythm she likes, all right? Listen to her grasp and moans as you experiment with the different techniques. And watch her sign as she close to climaxing, such as a subtle deepening in the color of her labia, all right? Causing by increased blood flow on basically, or rest a hand on her stomach and feel the muscular contractions that immediately precedes her orgasm. All right? So you can definitely do those things. And we also can begin with the root lock, the yin position, which will be discussed fully in the next exercise. But to use it is for this, we're going to use it for this one. And you begin by sitting on the floor with the heel on one foot pressed against the vagina and clitoris. Use a firm, steady pressure, which can also be achieved by sitting on a small pillow held between the legs, all right? Tennis ball, even a large size crystal. Place your tongue across against the roof of your mouth behind the teeth. And this position is the basis for most Kundalini yoga and Qigong work, including the microcosmic orbit, right? Use the pillow is a Zen Japanese Buddhist technique. You can feel heat or orgasm from the pressure, right? The breast rotation, this is the science of the breast, all right? For the brothers, get into the breast. So we talked about stimulating the vagina, the clitoris, so forth and so on, how to bring the woman to an orgasm. But this can also happen from the breast. So you have to know about the science of the breast. The breast rotation serves to balance the woman's hormonal process, all right, processes with sometimes dramatic results. So dispersing rotation can cause menopause symptoms to disappear, right? With the explanation that the blood is turned back. So women with cystic breasts finds that the dispersion rotation reduces and eliminates the lumps in the breast. Doing only dispersion rotations may decrease breast size, all right? Use rotations in the inversion, all right, direction to increase breasts. So if you take your fingers and go around the ovula, and the nipples in the right, which is clockwise, they'll increase. If you take your fingers and go around the nipples and the ovula in the left, which is counterclockwise, then they would decrease in size, all right? But to avoid this is to have, to avoid breast lumps and menopausal discomfort, most women do both rotations. The same number in each direction balances the hormones without changing the breast size. So we're looking at right here of the women going, hands coming up and around the breasts, as you see, all right, from this illustration here. So this is what is called basically what we refer to as the dispersion rotation, all right? And we're talking now also about the ovarian kung fu for women, right? So we're talking about the ovarian breathing. So this is ovarian breathing, ovarian kung fu, right? Mantak Chia speaks about this also. My wife and my teacher, Sunyata Saraswati, Grandmaster Sunyata Saraswati, also spoke about this. And this is the method. Rub your hands together until they're hot. Cover each breast with a palm and begin to circle and massage. Circle by bringing two hands close together from below the breast, upward towards the center of the chest, then over the top of the breast, and finally outward and downward. Do this 9 to 18 times. Reverse direction and massage from above breast, downward towards middle of the chest, then below and massage upward towards the outside of the breast. All right, as you see here, the illustration is here as they're showing you. Rest your fingertips lightly touching the nipples, right? By doing so, you tap into the heart chakra, all right? Here, your endocrine glands are located, as you see here, and you can feel the jinn, all right, which is energy, descend downward and backward towards your two kidneys. You may experience this as sexual feeling or as warmth. Place your palms on the lower back over the two kidneys and massage this area for 15 to 30 seconds. Place your mind on your ovarian palace. Now, the ovarian palace is down right above the mound area and right below the navel area. So it's right in the middle area, right before you get to your genitals and right before you get to your navel. That middle area is called your ovarian palace within the women. It's called the sperm palace within the men. So you put your mind on the ovarian palace, which includes the area of the vagina and the two ovaries on the each side of and slightly above the vagina. Feel the jinn descend from the kidneys down into the ovarian palace. Move your palm down and cover the ovarian palace. Pull in on the eye muscles and use the perineum power by closing. Now, your perineum is right between the legs, sisters and brothers, right? The perineum within the woman is connected with the G-spot area, which is about 1.5 to 3 inches inside her vaginal canal, right? Which is between her legs, between the vaginal canal and the anus, all right? Pull in the eye muscles and use perineum power by closing and tightening the lips of the vagina and pulling upward while simultaneously tightening and pulling up on the anus. Now 10, all right, pause and feel the energy expand in the sexual area. Use your mind and look down with your eyes to guide the essence from the ovarian palace, down the legs into the ground, all right? And if you feel nothing, use your imagination. The essence may feel thick and heavy as it splits into two and runs down through your thighs, through your knees, calves, into the ankles, spread out through your feet, into the toes, exit the body, and descends into the earth from the center of the soles. Use your imagination to visualize the jinn spreading out and descending into the earth, all right? You can also massage the area of where the ovaries are, right? Which is the area in which that essentially is the sperm palace, or right above it, all right, is the sperm palace. Do outward then inward massage motions, 36 times for each position. Massage the vaginal area next to gather the energy. Pause and feel the chi expand. Practice and place the right hand on your vagina and left hand on your heart center and draw the resulting sensations of universal love into your heart. Draw in earth energy and continue the microcosmic orbit, all right? Now, how you do the microcosmic orbit? We talked about that the other day. You're going to breathe in the chi energy into your lower dantian, which is right below an inch or two, right below your navel. And for the women, she's going to inhale and pull the energy up the front channel of her body to the top of her head. And then as she exhales, it's going to fall down her spine down to the perineum. Then she's going to draw it back up the front of the channel of the body, back all the way up towards the head as she inhale, and then let it fall as she exhale back down towards the perineum. For the men, he's going to breathe in and store the energy into his lower dantian. And then he's going to move the energy down and up, all right, up the spinal column to the top of the head. And then as he breathes out, he's going to release the energy down the front channel, back down towards the perineum, all right? So the energy goes differently in men and women, all right? It goes differently in men and women, all right? So there are benefits to the exercise that expands the Kundalini channels, all right? And that's what we're talking about, expanding, but that's what Tantra means. Tantra means expanded consciousness, right? So most spiritual disciplines work in the same way to direct sexual energy upward towards the crown. Sexual energy is originally chi or ki, and is lost, decreases life force vitality, shorten lifespan, and reduces optimum health. So when it's lost, that's what happens. This energy is lost through menstruation, ovulation, and sexual act, right? The exercise above, as we just went over, recycles this energy, increases the original chi for the benefit of the body, mind, and spirit, combining sexual energy with heart energy, developing compassion, and brings a sense of peace, well-being, and delight. Okay, that's what happens. Right? It's also very important to end your practice by storing energy in the navel. That's where you want it at. In excess of energy in the head or the heart may cause ill effects, all right, of this practice. The navel can safely handle the increased energy generated by the ovaries. Okay, you can start by spiraling clockwise, counterclockwise, outward 36 times, then reverse the direction of the spiral and bring it back to the navel, circling it clockwise 24 times, right? So that's what you can do. Now, as we were talking about this, there's 9 levels, all right, to the female orgasm. Each level of orgasm, all right, energizes certain parts of the body and evokes a certain observable and predictable response in the woman. So level 1 energizes the lungs. The response is the woman's sighs, she breathes heavily and salivates. 2 energizes the heart. The woman, while kissing the man, extends the tongue out to him. According to Shu Wei, all right, the classic of the internal yellow emperor, the tongue corresponds to the heart. So she's giving her heart to you, all right? 3, the spleen, pancreas, and stomach. As her muscles become activated, the woman grasps and holds the man tightly. 4, kidneys and bladder. The woman experiences a series of vaginal spasms. At this time, the secretions begins to flow. This is when she can have a vaginal orgasm. But brothers, it's not over, right? It's not over. You think it's over when she reached the 4th level. It's not. Keep going. 5, bones. The woman joints loosens and she begins to bite the man. 6, liver and nerves. The woman ulates and gyrates like a snake, trying to wrap her arms and legs around the man. 7, the blood is energized and the woman blood is boiling and she's fanatically trying to touch the man everywhere. Right? 8, the muscles are energized. Her muscles totally relax and she bites even more and grabs the man's nipples. 9, the entire body is energized, all right? And she collapses into a little death and she completely surrenders herself to the man, all right, for the work that he has done, sexually satisfying her, all right? And the unification is the path of understanding through understanding of these 2 different orgasms that we talked about, the vaginal orgasm and the skeet, skeet, skeet orgasm, all right? Now, acquisition of knowledge is the first step towards understanding male and female orgasm. To facilitate the study of female orgasm, the orgasm has been separated into 9 steps or stages of experience, as we talked about. These 9 creating multi-level experiences. A woman's orgasm can be described as a blooming lotus flower. A woman experiencing a complete orgasm, all 9 levels of orgasm, undergoes 9 stages of blooming while she finally opens up and surrenders herself to the man who has served her. Then this is what we're talking about. That is what is called the end of the orgasm, when, you know, she has a full body orgasm, all right? And what shows that is her ability to what we call skeet, skeet, skeet. That's a full body orgasm, all right? Full body orgasm is different than just a vaginal orgasm, which, as you've seen, is only the 4th level. You have 5 more levels to go, brothers. All right? So now we get into the man, all right? And of course, the man has the same organs as the female, just different names. The testes is nothing more than the ovaries. The vas deferens is nothing more than the fallopian tubes. The prostate is nothing more than the uterus. The clitoris is nothing more than the penis. The chest is nothing more than the breast of the woman, so forth and so on. All right, so we know that the penis extension of the body, which contains the urethra, for eliminating urine from the bladder. The penis contains massive arteries and veins in which that forms the bulbo cavernosus, all right, or spongiosus. These plexus of arteries and veins allow the penis to be erect, thus becoming a tool adequate to penetrate the vagina for implantations of sperm. Testes. The testes are a fine interweaving of tubes. These tubes are called the seminiferious tubulus, right? Inside the seminiferious tubulus are cells that produce millions of sperms daily. Matter of fact, within 3 days, 72 hours, you can have over 400 million sperm. All right. Originally, we had 777,777,777 germ cells, sperm. The scrotum, this is the skin that holds the testes, and the seminiferious tubulus. All right. You have the vas deferens. All right. And of course, we know that the vas deferens is just like the fallopian tubes. This is the specific tubes that the sperm travels to reach the prostate gland from the testicles. All right. So the sperm goes and travels into the prostate gland, i.e., the uterus for the man. All right. That's where it goes. All right. Now, you might not understand what's going on, but the whole Masonic world, religious world, have these monuments in which that we know are nothing more than phallic worship. All right. Washington, D.C. monument, the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. is an obelisk, which is called a Tekken, right? Which is nothing more than Osiris' penis, or Osiris' penis that was missing, that was ate by a catfish, a crab, or a crocodile. Here in Paris, France, you have Paris, France was named after Bar Set, or Par Isis. Par Isis become Paris. All right, but here it is. And as you see, the hieroglyphics is written on this. All right. In Istanbul, in Turkey, they have an obelisk of Theodorus Dorsius. All right. As you see, the hieroglyphics is written on here. Of Kemet, in St. Peter's Square, the Tekken, right in front of the Vatican. All right. This is why you have one in Washington, D.C., right? 555 feet tall. DC don't mean just District of Columbia, it also means dick, because it's in between Maryland and Virginia, the Virgin Mary. So right in between the legs of the Virgin Mary is the dick, 555 feet tall. 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15, right? And 1 plus 5 is 6, which is the number of man. All right, Adam was created on the 6th day, which is actually talking about the 6th element, which is carbon. All right, right here you have the Tekken, the obelisk from Karnak, the temple. All right, this is Osar, which is in his form as Min, also a form of Amen. All right, Min is the god of fertility and sexuality. So the fertility, so it's talking about for growth, but for fertility, prosperity, success. That's what that symbolized. So the fertility god was associated both with Heru, the Horus the elder, which is called Min Heru, and it was also shown as a human male with an erected penis. Right? Min is the bull, Apis, of the great phallus. The bull is a symbol of Osar, or Serapis, your Jesus, as we know of. Right? This is why Jesus' symbol is a fish on the back of the good Christian cause. But that fish symbolizes the spermatozoa. However, the phallus, penis itself, is set as in Sut, or as in Sut Tekken. Right? You are this is what it said in the hymn to men. You are the great male, the owner of all females, the bull who unites with those of the sweet love, of beautiful face, of painted eyes, victorious sovereign among the gods who inspires fear in the Enads. The goddesses are glad seeing your perfection, right? That was phallus worship, right? So you have the head of the penis called the glans, which is actually called the pineal glands, all right? The pineal gland, just like the pineal gland, right? Just like the pineal gland, right? And so you also have the shaft. Now, when you get into the science of reflexology, the reflexology zones of the male sexual organ, the top of the head of the penis is the pineal gland. Then you have the pituitary gland. Then you have the adrenal and thyroid glands. Then you have the prostate gland. All of this at the head of the penis. Then down along the head of the penis, before you get to the rim, is the heart, the tongue, and the lungs, the nose. All right, this is why if the woman only sucked the head of the penis, and if he has a weak heart, he can have a heart attack. This is why you hear these stories of men killing over during sex. Right below the rim of the pineal gland, the head, you have the spleen, which the mouth, the stomach, the pancreas. Below that, you have the liver, the eyes, small intestines. All right. So if you want to heal the eyes, then you would actually put the lips on that area, sisters, in which that would be stimulated, as well as also in this same area for the reflexology within the woman. The brothers will have to leave his penis in that area in order to stimulate that liver, which is for the eyes and small intestines. Right. Then you have the large intestines, the kidneys, the ears, the bladder, and then the testicles are connected to all the glands. All right. So when Slick Rick said lick the balls, he wasn't joking. The testicles are connected to all the glands. All right. So you can do what is called erection check. Right. Esoterically, it is taught that there are 4 types of energy necessary to create an erection. If a man cannot achieve an erection, it's because one or more of these 4 energies is lacking. Right. Western medicine still believe that the blood ability to engorge the blood vessels of the penis is the only cause for erection. But there's 4 esoteric energies of erection are blood energy, muscle energy, problems with muscles anywhere in the body can prevent erection. Nerve energy, a mental or nervous condition can prevent a man from having an erection. Bone energy, bone cancer or arthritis can prevent a man from achieving an erection. All right. So once the erection is accomplished, the women can, of course, do what's called masturbation, fellatio, all right, all of that good stuff there, which is all part of that same science as foreplay as we talked about for the woman, right? And then, of course, here we have the largest phallus by country, all right? Notice that these are only European countries. Notice they didn't want to do Africa. All right, but anyway, the United States average erection is 5 inches. All right, Germany is 5.6, Spain is 5.3, France is 6.2, Japan is 5.1, Brazil is 4.8, Italy is 5.9, Venezuela is 5 inches, Mexico is 5.87. Greece is 4.8. India is 4 inches. Saudi Arabia is 4.8. Chile is 5.5. Colombia is 5.4. All right, so here, France has the largest out of the Europeans. But we know that when you go to Africa, that shit get destroyed. So the largest penis by race, it is generally said that the penis of the Negro is very large. In other words, compared to them. So wrote German anthropologist Johann Friedrich Blumenbach in 1795, and his assertion is so far borne out by remarkable genitory apparatus of an Ethiopian, which I have in. So he has dicks. He has a atomical collection of dicks from 1795. He kept dicks. All right, Louis Jacquelet, of a 19th century French writer who spent 3 decades investigating penis size. He spent 30 years finding out. All right, this is why all these comedians have these jokes about the dicks. All right, white guys talking about black men dicks and black guys talking about their dicks and everybody else's smaller dicks. Right, this is what is going on. But this is all comedy, except when the shit hits the fan and you actually go and get research and study, then the shit change. So, in no branch of human race are the male organs more developed than in the African Negro. This is what Jacquelet says. Certainly, the belief in the well endowment of the African race has an extensive history, but it is justified by the facts. Well, going strictly by the Kinsey data, which still remains as one of the most exhaustive studies on penis size to date. The average black male has a penis 6.3 by 3.8 inches, and when it comes to flaccid in length, blacks 4.3 inches long versus 4.0 of the Europeans. So, as you've seen, even though they said that that France has 6.2 inches, well, we find out that the black male has the average of 6.3, right? This is all averages now, all right? This is all averages, all right? But how do you increase the penis length, right? We can get into that too, brothers, because I know some say, oh, well, shit, mine ain't that long, so shit, what can I do? Well, we got some information for you too. How to increase penis length. Increase penis length with the double hand exercise. Start this exercise out by obtaining a partial, which is preferable of a full or a full erection before finding a quiet place to sit down. All right. Continue to reduce the blood flow to your penis by placing your left hand around the base firmly. Apply enough pressure to feel the blood flow. Once you have applied enough pressure, make sure you are fully lubricated before continuing. Now, starting at the base of your penis with your right hand, apply a degree of pressure before slowly moving your hands towards the head of the penis. Keeping in mind that each stroke should last anywhere between 3 to 5 seconds. Repeat this process as many times as you are physically willing or scheduled to do. In performing this exercise correctly, the stretching and movement of the blood within your penis allows for it to gradually gain in length with time. All right. It's an example of what we're talking about here. All right. The power stretch for the penis length. The power stretch is an advanced exercise that should be attempted only by experienced penis enlargement users. We also recommend that as a result of intensity of this workout, you warm yourself up using any of the methods mentioned earlier. Once you are ready, start out by standing in an upright position. Stretch your limp penis outward by holding it in your hand. After around 10 seconds in the position, tense up your PC muscles. In other words, do the Kegel exercise, brothers, which is called the day exercise for you, for a further 5 seconds before moving on. Repeat this stretch and tense exercise in all other directions before relaxing. All right, so you're going to pull it into the various directions, left, right, up, and down. All right, repeat this process as many times as you are physically willing or scheduled to do. The power stretch has the add benefit to allow you to stretch much more firmly than usual. And such, it can also help in the development of your PC muscle. Finally, it should be noted that if you have had intercourse the same day as performing the exercise, your penis may not respond as well due to fatigue caused by the exercise. All right, so be careful. Now, sit down stretch for the flaccid penis length. This is the exercise used by many penis enlargement followers to gain in flaccid penis length only, and as such should not replace any other length exercise in your penis enlargement program. Start the exercise out by standing up and stretching your semi-erect penis around 30 to 40% erect is ideal out in front of your body before pulling as far as you possibly under your backside. Once you are ready, proceed to sit down on the relatively firm chair with your penis stretched beneath you or underneath you or anywhere up to 30 minutes. The results also from the jerking should be permanent. Your penis will become enlarged in both the flaccid and erect states, but especially in its genital erect state. After about 3 to 4 months of daily practice, results will be obvious. But we encourage you to continue penile jerkins routines to keep your penis in the utmost prime shape. For the first week or so, only jerk for about jerk for about 10 minutes per day or 200, 300 strokes, a minimum strength repetitions, right? After a week or so, try to work up to 20 minutes, 300 to 500 strokes, or minimum full strength every day. After about 3 weeks or third week, work yourself up to jerk sessions that are at least 30 minutes or so, more than 500 strokes, as strong as you can. It can only make your penis longer and thicker, but harder overall, healthier as well. After your first year of exercising, you should experience a gain of nearly 2+ inches in length of your penis. You should do this 5 to 7 days a week for 30 minutes each time. Don't squeeze too hard or you may bruise your penis. The technique for working for most men, but it may take up to 6 months before you see any noticeable differences, and most men will give up after 4 to 6 weeks, right? Penis exercise and circumcision. All right, we was asked this question yesterday about circumcision. Well, let's answer that question, right? When it comes to penis exercise, there's often some slight differences between a man who is circumcised and men who are not. It should be noted that differences are dependent upon the individual and not to be the same in all cases. Stretching it is done at the head of the penis may lead to discomfort and sensitivity in non-circumcised men. In each case, circumcised men may need to be more careful. Right? Many non-circumcised men may wish to avoid stretching the foreskin due to sensitivity and aesthetics. If this is the case, simply pull back the forehead or the foreskin on the head before stretching. In most cases, non-circumcised men experience more sensitivity than their circumcised counterparts when practice penile enlargement exercises. Now, also on the walls of ancient Egypt, we know that the Hebrews got this information from the ancient Egyptians. All right, the Kemites, the Temerians, caused on the walls. All right, in Egypt, they have hieroglyphics, metronetra of circumcision. All right, now understand that circumcision might have been necessary in an area where the temperature may range to 100 to 140 degrees in temperature. All right, but the science is this: if you're able to retract the head of the penis, then there's no need in order to get the foreskin taken off, because the man can clean inside of his foreskin. He can clean it. All right. Now, if they cannot pull back and retract the foreskin over the head of the penis, then that is a situation that might be a problem. All right, for the cleaning. All right, that might be a problem, and therefore they may require circumcision. All right. However, if you can pull it back and clean, then you do not require circumcision. It's not necessary. All right. So let's get that straight. Now let's get to the tapping and the rolling of the testicles. This Chinese massage stimulates production of semen and sperm, increases secretions of testosterone, tonifies and cleanses the tissue of the testicles, and improves circulation in the scrotum. Don't squander your benefits by plowing the extra harvest of sexual ecstasy and energy back into the field of reckless sexual indulgence. In other words, don't have monkey sex, nigga. Men who practice the qigong exercise for sexuality should also exercise restraint, and regulate ejaculations during intercourse in order to retain the benefits. So you can do stand in a horse position, all right, which legs are shoulder width apart or further out, with the knees bent, all right, and sit or either sit on the edge of a hard stool. Rub your palms of your hands till warm, then use one hand to grasp the penis, and then you will pull it upward, and the fingertips of the other hand gently taps the testicles so that they bounce up and down. Do 1 or 2 sets of 36 taps each testicle. All right, then rub the palms till warm again, grasp and lift the penis with the one hand as above, and use the palm of the other hand to cup the testicles and roll them around in circles 36 times in each direction. All right. During this whole time, keep the anus lightly locked during the exercise in order to not allow energy to leak out the body. All right, because that's the whole thing. And it encourages the sexual energy to raise up the spinal channel to the brain. All right, that's what it does. All right, so here's an example. All right, figure A, tapping the testicles with the fingertips. Figure B, tapping the testicles with the palms. Figure C, rolling testicles with the palms. All right, you can do either one of these, 3 or all 3. All right, and this helps with the production of the sperm and semen. All right. The easiest way to increase the essence is through stimulation. All right. Our first step of seminal and ovarian kung fu are designed to increase our production of sexual energy. For men, this involves the massaging the testicles, and the woman massaging the breasts to stimulate the ovaries. Right. So we did the woman. Now let's continue with the man, because now this is seminal kung fu for the man. Rub the palms until they are hot. Place your hands on the back over your kidneys. Rub your palms over your kidneys for 15 to 30 seconds to warm them. As you see here, you can also tap. All right, you can get this from The Complete Guide to Qigong by Daniel Reed. He says, rhythmically tapping various parts of the body transmits a vibratory wave into the tissues that causes stagnated energy to scatter, driving surface energy deeper, stimulating blood circulation and glandular secretions, and balancing energy flow in the meridians. So to tap the kidneys and adrenal glands, use the back of the hands to gently tap the left and right kidneys, alternatively from the top to the bottom. And now you're here, right? The vibrations are carried into the adrenal glands, where they stimulate secretions of beneficial hormones. You can do this for 2 minutes, right? Now, once you finish the kidneys, you can go back to the testicles, all right? Breathe deeply and feel the imagined energy descending from the kidneys down into the back of your sexual organs. Rub your palms together again and gently massage each testicle for about 1 minute. Massage each testicle between your tip of your thumb and on the other side of your index, middle, and ring finger on the other side. Do not use any force or pressure, right? Cup your testicles in your left hand. Place your palm, your right palm over your navel, and circle your hand around the navel 36 times in a clockwise position. All right. Circle and massage the lower abdomen as you do this. Reverse hands and hold the testicles in your right hand as you circle the navel and massage the lower abdomen 24 times in a counterclockwise position or direction. Place the left palm on your lower abdomen just above your penis and place your right hand on top. All right. The 2 hands are covering this important energy center known as the sperm palace. And notice the hands are right above the penis, right where the hair on the mound, all right, on the male mound is located at. Pull in all the muscles around your eyes and use perineal power. Feel a light contraction and stimulation right in that area, all right, as you do so. Right, there's several purposes for this exercise. The first is to increase compassion by connecting the heart and the soul and the sexual organs. The second major benefit is the recycling sexual or chi, original chi energy for a longer life and fuller optimum health. The sexual organs themselves are strengthened. all right? Prostate problems, premature ejaculation, and other sexual difficulties may be relieved, all right? Therefore, brothers, now you can go 1, 2, 3 hours or more, no problem. Circling energy through the microcosmic orbit heals all the organs and balances energy blockages anywhere in the body. All right, spiritual awareness is raised and the mind, body, and spirit comes into balance. All right, so brothers, some of y'all be dealing with impotent and sexual dysfunctions. So what is the cure? Well, it's the day exercise. This is what we're talking about. In the ancient Taoist secret, the day exercise is a simple rubbing and anal contraction exercise with many benefits. It strengthens the tissue of the sexual organs, draws the energy up the spine towards all 7 glands, energy centers, melanin centers called the chakras, the shankaras, or ritus. 3, improves circulation and transport nutrients from the semen to the rest of the body. 4, replenishes energy in all weakened glands. 5, builds energy endurance. The day exercise taps into the life-giving power of your sexual glands and distributes it throughout your body. Since you will be contracting your prostate muscles, it will feel a little like an orgasm. With enough practice, a tingling sensation will travel up your spine to your head if you are cleared of most emotional blockages. If any of your glands are weak, the energy will stop at that gland. You will continue to stop there until that gland is replenished. So if you do not feel anything at first, it's okay, just keep at it. The stage assists in seminal production. Stage 1, rub your hands together vigorously to create the heat and energy of your body, just like Mr. Miyagi from the Karate Kid. 2, take your right hand and cup your testicles gently. Best not to wear clothes. 3, place your left hand on your abdomen, sacral chakra, 2 inches below your navel, belly button, and rub in the counterclockwise direction 81 times. 4, rub your hand vigorously together again, and this time switch position with the left hand cup the testicles and the right hand now rub in the clockwise direction on your abdomen. While rubbing, place your full attention on the physical movements and the growing warmth of energy. Taoist states that the mental focus is the key component of this exercise since it bridges the mind and the body to create synergetic effects. The Taoists say that you can begin with clockwise or counterclockwise, but I usually begins with counterclockwise and switch to clockwise. Also, the Taoist specifies 81 times because it is a yang number that if you can really do any number that you want, right? So you can do 9, you can do 21, 27, 36, the multiples, all right, of 3s. All right, second stage, prostate strengthening. All right, also called doing the Kegel. Stage 1, tightening the muscles around your anus so that if you draw air up and inward, hold as long as you are comfortable. All right, you should not feel any pain. 2, stop and relax. 3, repeat the anal contraction as many times as you can without feeling any discomfort. All right, so by pulling your anal and perineal muscles up, you stimulate the prostate gland. All right. The testicular breathing. So now we did the ovarian breathing. Now we're gonna go into the testicular breathing. You can sit on the edge of a chair, feet flat on the floor, shoulder width apart. Please wear loose clothes, cotton, and either do it in the nude. Room temperature is slightly cool. Center your attention around your scrotum. Relax. Inhale slowly and put the testicles up. Hold for a count of 15. Then exhale slowly and lower the testicles. As you inhale, think of the breath going into the testes and filling them up. At the same time, raise your testes with the breath. Gently continue inhaling and exhaling with the testicles until you feel a lot of cold energy in the scrotum. During this breathing, in rounds of 9, then rest and practice again for 3 to 6 counts or sets. After doing this for 10 to 14 days, you will notice the use and the filling of the testicles with each breath. When this occurs, you know that you have completed the exercise properly. All right. So also you breathe through the nose. Guide the cool energy from the scrotum into the perineum by inhaling the pulling up slightly on your testicles. Put your mind on the perineum and hold it there. Inhale and exhale 3 times to build up testicular energy. 7, begin to draw the energy from the testicles up the back channel as if sipping on a straw. Arch the back, the lower back outward, or push your back outward behind you and tilt the shoulder down. This allows the energy to move up the spine easily. All right, 8, breathe the energy up the spine to the solar plexus, the thoracic vertebrae 11. Allow the energy to rest there for 2 to 3 minutes. Pull the energy up the back of the head. Inhale and exhale at the chest as the testes pump the energy by contracting the perineum. Place the tongue up against the hard palate. Move the energy up the crown chakra and may move the sensation to your head and it's spinning. And what you want to do is count 36 rotations, and this will help memory and clear the thinking. Allow this energy to diffuse through the head. Continue to pump the energy to head in 3 to 6 sets. Now allow the energy to diffuse through the head and the body, allowing yourself to feel the cold energy. Don't force the process. You do not want to heat the energy up because it cannot be stored in the head or the crown area, right? So rhythm theory for men. This is what we're talking about, the frequency of ejaculation. Everything in the universe has its rhythm and cycles. Women has menstrual cycles and men has their own cycles. So when men are talking about that they don't have a cycle, that's not true, right? Women is the lunar cycle, which is based on 28 to 29 days. The man cycle is based on the solar cycle. Men has a certain time interval in which that can ejaculate without doing harm to themselves, all right? The time between these intervals are just to replace the lost energy and nutrients created by ejaculation. The ancient formula for determining one's rhythm is your age times 0.2 equals the frequency of ejaculation in days related to your age. For example, if a man is 30 years old, then his rhythm is 6 days. Of course, 30 times 0.2 equals 6. Thus, to maintain his health, a 30-year-old man should not have an ejaculation more frequently than every 6 days, as it takes a 30-year-old man 6 days to replace the nutrients lost from one ejaculation. This man may have sex daily or 4 to 5 times daily, but he can only lose his semen once every 6 days. Now, see, that's a hard lesson. The reason why, all right, is because of what is in it. So the male sperm, as we said, 777,677,777 cells. And you can get this according to the sex life of a Muslim by Imam Isa al-Hati, known as Dr. Malachi York. And the seminal fluid originally was black like oil, not yellowish or white, according to brother in Broadway, Aja Ishhanji. Right, or Javon Butler, as he was formerly called, of the Ghetto Times magazine. But what we find out is that in the seminal fluid is rich with lithium, calcium, phosphorus, iron, cholesterol, vitamin E and B, neuroproteins, or nucleoproteins, sex hormones. Loss of these substances for whatever purpose has a devitalizing and disabilitating effect on the body, and the faster sperm is expended, the more the body may strain to replace it. If it is conserved and if it is reabsorbed into the bloodstream and used to nurture the body, the tissue of the body, especially the brain and the nervous system, no two constitutions of the body shows great similarities in this lithium, chlorotoluene, and phosphorus content than brain cells and semen. In fact, we find out that semen is 21% blood brain fluid. All right, semen, which comprises 4% of seminal fluid, 21% of brain fluid, all right, and 75% spinal fluid. All right, because this travels up. Matter of fact, based on the Holy Quran, 86th chapter, the 5th through the 7th verse, it says, "Now let man but think from what he is creating. He is created from a drop emitted, proceeding from between the backbone and the ribs. all right? In the embryonic stages, the reproductive organs of the male and female, i.e. the testicles and the ovaries, begin the development near the kidneys, between the spinal column and the 11th and 12th rib. Later they descend, all right? The female gonads, ovary stops in the pelvis. So hers fall too. This is the fall of man and woman, right? And the males continue on, into the testicle, the male gonads, testicles continue their descent before birth to reach the scrotum, all right, into the inguinal canal. Even in the adults, after the descent of the reproductive organs, these organs receive their nervous supply, all right, and blood supply from the abdominal aorta, which is the area between the backbone, spinal column, and the ribs, all right. Even the lymphatic drainage occurs from that area, and is also part of the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve, which comes directly from out of the brain. The vagus nerve is one of the 12 pericranial nerves in the brain, and it goes all the way down into the abdomen area. All right, if you notice, the sperm here has light around it. All right, that was you as the Christ. Medical science asserts that 1 drop of semen is manufactured out of 40 drops of blood. The Ayurveda states that the sperm is elaborated out of 80 drops of blood. Therefore, it takes 40 drops of blood to make 1 drop of semen. And it takes about 400 drops of blood to make 40 drops of semen. According to Dr. Stephen T. Chang, writings on ejaculation in Taoist sexology, the testicles produce sperm and hormones, and the prostate produces the nutrients, hormones, and energy, rich seminal fluid. The secretions produced in the prostate contains nutrients, hormones, and vital energies. All right. These secretions constitutes the semen, which is the substance that serves as the carrier of the sperm. When the average male ejaculates, he loses more than 1 tablespoon of semen. According to scientific research, the nutritional value of this amount of semen is equal to that of 2 pieces of New York steak, 10 eggs, 6 oranges, 2 lemons, all right, and also 2 glasses of milk combined. This includes protein, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, everything. Ejaculation is often called coming, but the precise word for it should be going, because everything leaves you. The vital energy, millions of living sperm, hormones, and nutrients go away. All right? All right, that's what happens. All right, so from the spinal fluid, yes, it is. Remember, the ovaries came directly from the same area as the testicles, which is up near the kidney area. Right, right. In the woman as well as in the male. All right. And they both descended down. This is called the fall of man. This is what they really mean by that, the fall of man. Right. Except the ovaries within the woman stopped in the pelvis area after their descent from the kidney area and the 11th rib area, 11th and 12th rib area, down into the pelvis. For the male, it continued down into what we now refer to as the scrotum sac. All right. So yes, both comes the fluid from that, which is the ski, as well as also the vaginal fluid, also, which is the milkyish white color, just like the semen, that comes from the same area of the brain. All right. Same area of the brain. All right. So all the fluid in the body comes, 21% of the fluid comes from the body in the brain for the male and the female. All right.
The circumcision of the child, how does that affect the child? Is it negative?
The circumcision of the child, you do not have to get the child circumcised unless you're involved in some type of religion, such as the Hebrew Israelites or African Hebrews, or et cetera, et cetera. That is not a necessity as long as you're able to pull the head of the penis back of the foreskin back on the penis and be able to cleanse it. All right, and teach the child how to cleanse his penis by pulling it back and cleaning it. All right, so that is the most important thing, not the circumcision, but the cleansing. All right, the cutting off of the foreskin was to avoid the cleansing process, you know, because you was in desert-like environment, you know, conditions was dry and they was heated. Like I said, 100 to 140 degrees, you know, at times. So that was something in which that you had to work with, was the cleanliness aspect. All right, but we don't have to contend with necessarily the 140 degree weather, but cleaning it is definitely what we have to contend with. So as long as you are able to retract it and pull it back, that is fine. Even for the baby or the child, you know, that is something in which that can be worked on, because the foreskin can allow the head of the penis to retract and to for the head of the penis to come out as the skin is retracted. So once again, circumcision is not necessary. It can traumatize the baby. All right, it can traumatize the baby or the child. You know, especially if you was doing the Jewish tradition, because we see what happened with the rabbis. They sucking the blood off of it. And they talking about this is their tradition. All right, and they're giving the babies herpes and all types of you know, STDs. All right, so it's not necessary. All right, are there any other questions? Any other question? Yes. Yes, I'm listening. Right. Right. Basically, that the reason why the so-called rabbis allegedly that is allegedly reason why the rabbis do that is for the child to have a faster erection, a faster erection. All right. Now, I'm sorry, when you're going through puberty, it ain't gonna make no difference if it's circumcised or uncircumcised. That penis is going to get up during. I'm just telling you the truth. All right. I mean, that's just what it is. Yeah, that's just what it is. You know, that joke going to get up regardless during puberty. You know what I'm saying? It can get up almost 100 times a day during puberty. All right. So that is something in which that is not necessarily true. So we understand that the Jews doing it for their traditional perversion. You've you know, it's just like the child, when they take that first clot of breast milk from out the woman's breast, that is actually what helps with the babies. That's the natural way of having the baby vaccinated. It's from that first clot of milk that comes out, you know. So it's the same thing. They doing that because they believe that in the same way that the blood, you know what I'm saying, which is the fluid of the body, can also give them life, right? That's what that is about. Because they tell you in the Old Testament that life is in the blood. All right, and so the rabbis do that. All right. Also, they also produces what is called adrenaline, which is what is called adrenozone. Adrenozone, which is produced from the adrenal glands, because the child is scared, upset. You know what I'm saying? Is also inhabited within that blood supply, in which that they vampires. You know, they're vampires, and so when they suck the blood, they're actually sucking the adrenozone, which they now get, you know, pills and different things like that nowadays. Matter of fact, back in the days, Al Gore was busted for having a vial of blood in his in his briefcase. And the news reporter, I guess, asked him why was he carrying that, and he claimed that he was a hemophiliac. But hemophiliacs don't walk around with no damn vial of blood. Right?
What should she visualize when she speaks?
The skeet. You ain't got to visualize anything except for the enjoyment of it all. All right? But right, the high magic, there's hours in order to practice magic. You have 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. All right? That is AM and PM. Those are high magic times. So if you are having sex during those particular time periods, especially during a full moon, let me say that again, especially during a full moon, then women, the ability in order to skeet increases even more. Okay? Even more. It's because that full moon give you that ability in order to fully release your emotions. Because this is why they said during full moons or the lunatics for the lunar phase of the moon, the full moon. But in that same way that people can become lunatics, you can actually use that lunar energy to yourself into greater intensity, bodily intensity, such as doing the ski.
Somebody said, what about intimacy during the eclipse?
All right, intimacy during the eclipse, we wouldn't necessarily recommend that. You would have to definitely be into some serious sex magic. All right, some serious sex magic you would have to be. Now, what I mean by that is because during sex magic, the male and female both have to be thinking of the same thing simultaneously and actually bring each other to orgasm approximately the same time in order to manifest what you want into existence. And to do it during an eclipse, all right? Now check this out. Now, during an eclipse, now think about the word eclipse, all right? When you think of the word eclipse, you're thinking of something being cut or being ciphered off. So in a sense, you're not getting the full benefit of it. Okay. So we don't recommend per se doing that during an eclipse. All right. Now during a new moon, we recommend that you do it. Of course, during the new moon, if you and your mate are thinking the same thing simultaneously, then y'all can manifest what y'all want much quicker, because during the new moon, that symbolizes like a gateway is open. All right. And so you can draw down the energy from the astral plane in order to manifest what you want into existence much faster. All right. If you are relieving something, all right, you're healing, all right, your body and everything, then you would do that during the waning periods of the moon. If you are building something and you're trying to manifest something, for example, if you have a test or if you have some plans that you need to do, then these are the times that during the waxing moon, you will have sex. All right. So there are times, and remember the high magic times are 12, 3, 6, and 9. All right, AM and PM. All right. And remember, we talked about that between 3 to 5 AM in the morning, that is the activation of the lungs. So let's say during that time period, you're having sex between 3 to 5 AM in the morning, right? You're doing these breathing exercises that we talked about, and then both of y'all are able now to focus on the desired result. And during that time, let's say there's a full moon or a new moon, then whatever y'all think of and manifest as far as the ejaculation, as far as the orgasm, as far as the thoughts that y'all have within your mind, and then y'all got to feel it, and it actually got to be felt to such an intent that y'all able to see it, feel it, smell it, whatever it is that y'all thinking about. Y'all have to put as many characteristics to it as possible. And the more you can do that, the faster it comes. All right? And it manifests. All right?
This is an extension of that question with the eclipse. So maybe use that as in killing a bad habit, or maybe poor communication with one another.
Right. Communication, poor habits, cutting out negative and habits that can possibly be done during the eclipse. All right. So let's say you want to stop smoking, you want to stop drinking, or whatever the case is. That can be done. That's what we're talking about. If you have mastered this, because we wouldn't say just start and jump to a eclipse and try this. All right. You had to have been doing this the whole time with the sun and moon cycles. All right. And then once you get to that level, when you feel that you and your mate have manifested quite easily what you're wanting to existence, then we say you can jump into that level, especially if you're dealing with habits in which that needs to be eradicated. Then you can do the eclipse, like we say, ciphering off something, cutting off something, that would be the best time to do it. All right.
The sister said it makes me think of the dua that in Islam teaches you to do before intercourse.
Right. Well, actually, some of this is within Islam. That's why I spoke about the sex life of a Muslim, which is the book written by Imam Isa, who is known as Dr. Malachi York. That was one of the best books in my early years of reading about the sex life of a Muslim. He speaks about that in there, about certain duas, about how to focus your mind. And really, the sex magic is within each of the esoteric schools of the religions. Sufism of Islam, Kabbalistic teachings of Judaism, Gnostic teachings of Christianity, the Zen of the Buddhists, Taoism, all right? So it's in these various esoteric schools. We've just forgotten this information, okay? And we're not finished. We're gonna go into more of the practical exercises tomorrow. We're not finished, but we finished with today's lesson. But we're gonna get more into the actual meanings behind the positions, what they mean, what they do for the bodies and the organs, and so forth and so on. Because this is information that you haven't been taught, and you need information, and you need to know this information. All right, so as usual, we love y'all participating, love y'all coming on, love y'all listening, and as we say, we are out.